Hello, all you Astroflower readers out there. It's Tom here. This is going to be a quick update on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of May video that I did earlier on in the week, and specifically about the solar activity. Now, I've managed to make it into beautiful UK, so I'm in a lovely garden here at the moment in the UK with some amazing things. Absolutely beautiful place, loads of things going on. And what happened was, whilst I was travelling across from France, the sun decided to do a M9 flare. Now this M9 flare was on the left-hand side of the sun. You'll see it here going through. But also at the same time, there was a big eruption out the back as well. Now, the funny thing with this is, and this is where the sun is giving us a masterclass in solar astrology energies. So I read the planets in a completely different way in regards to energy, because it's according to what's going on in the sun as well, because it gives it a little bit of tone, a little bit of nuance to the astrological readings that you might hear from people. So what's going on the 17th, 18th, 19th, I think it goes through to the 20th. What you're getting is Pluto is exactly opposite Mars. Now, I'm not an astrologer. I'll tell you now, I'm not an astrologer. I'm a healer. I'm an energy worker. I see energy fields around people, around everything. I work with energy. But I do recognise that we live in an energy universe, and that planets do have an effect on us as individuals and also as a collective. And so the sun did two eruptions. One was this M9 flare, which came off from the bottom left-hand limb, and that was directed at Mars. Now, there wasn't any plasma coming off it, and it was very short, sharp. So it was within the energy of Mars. It was aggressive. It was to the point. It was very active. And what it's done is it will be charging Mars with energy for the next sort of 4-5 days. So going up to the 21st of May. On the other side, the other eruption, which you can also see here, out the back, which had a lot of plasma. Now that, I would have thought, because we don't have satellites on the other side of the sun anymore, we used to, but they got knocked out by the sun. And just seeing the volume of plasma that comes out from that, I would have thought, I would put my money on it being a filament eruption. Now, filament eruption is water energy. It's very emotional. And it is being directed in the direction of Jupiter. Now, the beauty of the situation is we have Pluto that is opposite Mars, but squaring those two is Jupiter. So what we're looking at, and before we go into that, let me just recap on what I said in the reading on Monday. Here is the clip from the solar activity that I was reading about the sun from earlier on in the week. Quick look what's going on in the sun, shall we? So the sun, we've got the King of Swords. Did we not get the King of Swords earlier on? No, it was the King of Wands. No, we did get the King of Swords. It's just there, blimey. It's on our karmic path. The sun here is it's almost like if the sun really does erupt, there's not a lot we can do about it. In fact, there's nothing we can do about it. As individuals, you can find a place on the earth which corresponds to survival, if you want, because that's what we're going to be talking about. But it's coming through judgment, and it's coming through sort of, it's the end of chasing dreams, basically, and bringing things back to reality. The dreams are those sort of lofty, like butterflies that are above his head there. It's also the flying things, so it's also messages that is coming from the outside world. But this is out, it's on his throne, so it's judgment basically. The king has made judgment, as I explained with the King of Swords earlier on, in the mechanical way of getting to the top of that mountain, or how things work, or how to achieve things. And the sun may be sort of saying, I'm now going to impose a judgment upon the earth, upon the world. There you go. It's a whole new cycle coming up for the sun, because this pole shift happens in every single planet, in through the sun, and through all the other star systems that is wandering around this galaxy. It's just the way it goes. And it could well be, I've just had that inkling of that. They've got a telescope up in the sky that's watching, really detailed, distant sort of star systems and nebulas and stuff like that. And maybe that's coming through and helping us understand our position within this whole cycle thing, and how we're very short-lived, really, within the whole cycle. And you get the Four of Swords back to this again. So it's going to bring it back to harmony, bring it back to healing. I think the Earth is bringing it back to common sense. Common sense evolution, the logical revolution that I'm talking about. That's what the sun is trying to bring back to it, and it's gonna help us to regain control over the emotions. So we're not emotionally pulled by the nose like a bull ring. Pulled by the nose is like, sort of led like an animal to slaughter, emotional slaughter. And this is, we're moving away from that bull sort of ring nose sort of mentality to something a lot more sort of logical and, quite frankly, a lot more realistic that we can actually achieve. And we get the Seven of Swords. So we're going to be, it's the sun and its eruption is going to make us a lot more intelligent in a way. Evolutionary steps happens through environmental changes as well, within the vibrations that are coming in this direction here. If the sun changes its vibration, it may just completely change the way we think, or it may literally just turn everything off. You've got to understand, we're part of something much, much bigger. You can't just sort of kind of go, oh, well, with this light bulb, I'm going to change the universe. You're not. We're not. And you've got to get your head around this. Yeah, it's good to help out. There's no doubt about it. Don't waste things. Certainly don't waste water, don't waste electricity. Just don't waste things. Respect everything. And before you know it, we're in a really, really good place. So keep an eye on that volcano. See what's happening on that volcano. Because if it does go, it is going to change the environment, the physical environment, geological, meteorological environment that is around us. And this is what's coming through. And this clarity that's coming through within the spirit and within the mindset of the human being this week is going to be very interesting to look out. I think it's going to be like it's like a boxer that does a quick, sharp, like Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? Mike Tyson just goes boom, just one punch, and that's it. The person's out. I'm not a massive fan of boxing, I've got to be said, but it just sort of explains it really well. It's a short, sharp thing that comes to the surface really quickly, and everybody sees it and kind of goes, "Wow, okay, I'm not going to be doing things like that anymore. No way," sort of scenario. And that's the realization that's coming through us. So just out of the back of the sun, after that masterclass with the energy and the tarot, so the sun is basically giving us a lesson on the control of our emotions, so we become a lot wiser. And it's going to start a whole new cycle within the Earth sphere, within the collective. So Jupiter it's a water element sign. It's tied to water, as it were, as an element goes. Now, this is what the eruption out the back, I would put my money on that it was a filament eruption. And as I always say, filament eruptions is to do with the emotions, to do with water energy. So it's gone out the back to hit Jupiter. On the one aspect, it's hitting Mars, and then with that really fiery energy, which ties into Mars, bringing things back to basics, bringing healing back in within the system, a bit of logical progression within the solar system. So it's firing up those passions, basically, of Mars, and also applying a lot of water to Jupiter. Now, there is a lot of earth in Jupiter as well. In Chinese astrology, it's considered the wood sort of element. So there is a lot of concrete stuff about the water element of Jupiter. And I think this comes into very much like an empathetic attitude that Jupiter will give us in regards to the explosive passions and forthright and almost temperous energy of Mars over the next sort of 3 or 4 days. And this will build up the emotions in Jupiter, which is a very practical sort of sign as well, practical sort of element. It sort of seems to get things into order and sort of has a sort of lesson and very creative, very strong emotionally, but at the same time very practical and empathetic towards things. So we have these two things that have been highlighted and heightened in the way of the energies. But at the same time, we've got Pluto, which is now given a free rein upon the energy of the Earth, or the solar system, as it were. And as it does give a free rein, it's going to come in and reveal things from the past. That's what it's going to do, its job. And also bring down sort of belief systems that we may hold that is not necessarily founded in real decent sort of universal knowledge. It talks about the unseen worlds, as it were. It's also about sort of because it's moved from Capricorn, my sign, and into Aquarius. It's all about sort of looking at things in a different way. So this is what the energy of Pluto is bringing to the situation. As it brings it to the situation, then we're going to get the emotional sort of side come through, which comes through from Jupiter, and having a control over our emotions as things really tighten up and things really spark with that energy that's hitting towards Mars at the moment. The other thing about Jupiter, Jupiter is also that I think there's a connection to Cancer and Capricorn. Now, Cancer is a false sign as much as Capricorn is a false sign. Capricorn is an earth sign, but it actually has more water within its earth, within its sign, within its Astroflower anyway. And then you have Cancer, who is also a full sign, which is a water sign, but it also has more earth within its Astroflower than it does water. The other two false signs are Gemini and Sagittarius. And I think Jupiter is connected as well to Sagittarius. But so these are the things that are going on at the moment. So these are what I can understand the reading now, the tarot reading of the sun, and how it is giving us a real masterclass in the control of the energies and the environment that we are in, which is the solar system. There is another point I wanted to say. Someone left a comment, great comment about about Europe and an event coming, and there's going to be lots of water covering over Europe for the next 12,000 years or something like that. I think it was PC, or there was, it might have been Riley. I'm hopeless with names. I do apologise about that. I really do apologise. I'm really bad with names, and even usernames. So they were, they were sort of saying about this, and I replied sort of saying that's why I'm in the Pyrenees between 550 metres and 750 metres, something like that. Because you don't want to go too high, because then you get the electrical currents as we go through the event, and you don't want to be too low because you may be having your feet getting wet. But about all of those things that you said in the comment, I've written a book 20 years ago about this event, and I've been watching it build up through the sun and through the energies, through the auras of the people that I do healing with and stuff like that. And also just seeing what's going on in the earth and what's going on around the energies of the earth and the sun, and within the collective as well. And I've been seeing it gradually building up over the last sort of like 30 odd years now. So it's been very interesting. Very, very interesting. But you can find a copy for your book, the Astroflower books, and also the event book, which you can find that in the description below. So this is just like a little bit of a heads up, a little bit of an explanation as well about how we can read these things a lot larger into the energy worlds, in regards to, because the moment you're looking at the sun and the earth and the energies and how they work, the prana energy or the ki energy, you start getting into aura energy and chakra energy and everything like that, and kundalini energy. All of those sort of things you can see in the greatness of the solar system, and you can see it right down into the cellular or molecular system as well. It doesn't matter which way you go, you're always going to get the same thing. This is why everybody says, the Creator made us in the Creator's image. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the Creator is a human. It basically means we all adhere to the same energy system, the same energy mechanics and structures through our aura and our chakras and stuff like that. And that's why I was very interested by the volcano in South America, because it was tapping the root chakra, and where I could see that in everybody's reading, in the chakra and the aura readings that I did on this channel there. If you haven't seen them, you'll find that on our channel for each individual sign. So over the next few days, just be wary, just be careful of your emotions overflowing. Be wary of peaks of anger. Be wary of also that in the collective around you. Just sort of stay calm, stay cool, see things in a different way, and allow this logical or common sense revolution just to take place. There you go. I thank you very much for being here with us on the Astroflower. I love every single one of you. It's very beautiful that you're here. I will be doing festivals this year, and talks as well, and I will be starting up my workshops again in September if you so desire. If you have a group of people that wish to do a workshop, doesn't matter where you are in the world, I'll be willing to come along to do it. It's because I love doing them, I really do. And it really helps people to connect with energy. I've been doing it for 20 years now, and I've connected quite literally thousands of people to their energy, so you can physically feel it within your body. It's an amazing experience. So if you've got 10 or more people that wish to do a workshop, I can be there. You just tell me when. Okay? In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.